Hundreds of thousands of tourists try to push it back up for cool photos. But can anyone really save the Leaning Tower of Pisa from falling over? The tower is one of the most famous examples of medieval architecture and a part of a complex called Pisa's Field of Miracles. In the 12th century, when the construction began, it was pretty unusual for a bell tower to stand away from a cathedral. But that is, of course, not the most unique feature of the tower. No one actually planned for it to be leaning on one side, but things happen, you know. It started tilting southward shortly after the beginning of construction because of the soft ground under its foundations. That soil couldn't handle the weight of the heavy white marble and started to go down. The builders decided to get creative and add each next floor at an angle to fix the tilt, but it didn't help. Once 3 of the 8 floors were finished, the tilt was so obviously getting worse that they had to halt the process to solve the problem. Because of a major conflict between Pisa and the city-state of Genova, the construction stopped for around 100 years. This time was enough for the soil to get in a better condition. A new architect took charge of the process, and in 1372, the tower was ready, tilted at 1.6 degrees. A popular legend says that Galileo Galilei, a famous Italian astronomer and physicist, dropped 2 different weights from the tower to prove that lighter and heavier objects fall at the same speed. If that legend is true, he would have done it when the tower was tilted at about 3 degrees. Almost 3 centuries later, an architect working on the tower wanted to show the world the beautiful carvings on its base, hoping to increase its value. Sadly, it made the construction tilt like never before. Oops. But even despite all this, Pisa's main symbol managed to survive at least 4 massive earthquakes. It turned out that the moldable soil prevented the tower from resonating with earthquake ground motion. In the middle of the 20th century, when the tower was already leaning at 5.5 degrees, Italian officials decided to invite experts to save it from completely falling over. Ideas on how to preserve the ancient monument arrived from all across the world, and they created a special international committee. They came up with an idea to extract soil from beneath the tower's northern foundation to put it back in an upright position. The team ran computer simulations and decided to bring the plan to life before it was too late. Workers wrapped steel bands around the first level of the tower to protect the stone. They put an impressive amount of lead weights on the northern side of the tower and connected it to cables set deep underground. Then they started drilling and removing the soil step by step. This method worked and helped to pull the tower against the direction of the tilt. The team had to repeat the process over several years at 41 different locations around the tower. Talk about perseverance. In May 2008, the tower finished straightening and finally stood still. It lost a total of 19 inches of its tilt. Not bad at all. Engineers believe it will stand strong for at least another 200 years. And with the technology of the future, it should be easy to fix it again and let it stand for another 800 years. Or who knows, maybe robots will figure out how to preserve it forever. So, you have no reason to worry about the Leaning Tower of Pisa.